So you're getting stronger in the gym, but you're not getting bigger. Why? Today's video is going to address that specific problem. So if you haven't already, leave this video a like, or you can leave it a like at the end of the video if you find the information useful. Honestly, do whatever the fuck you want. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the video. First thing we're going to tackle is nutrition. And I'm going to keep this nice and simple, yeah? So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, number one, are you eating enough calories to grow? Because in order to put on muscle, notice I'm not saying weight. In order to put on muscle, you need to be eating in a caloric surplus, meaning that you need to be consuming more calories than your body burns consistently for an extended period of time in order to put on muscle size. So if you're eating in a caloric deficit consistently or during some days of the week, you're going to find that one, either you're losing fat and building a bit of muscle if you're a beginner in the gym, or two, you might not be building any muscle at all because you're actually consuming less calories than your body is burning. So the first thing is to eat enough in order for your body to allocate those extra calories into building new muscle tissue. One simple way you can do this that I have mentioned so many times in this channel is by increasing your fat intake. Another simple way to do this is by introducing more nuts into your diet. So things like peanuts, macadamias, almonds, honestly, whatever the hell your preference is, just make sure that you're including some sort of nuts into your diet. And there's no magic in including nuts in your diet. The only thing is that, first of all, they're an easy way to get calories in because they're very dense. 1 gram of fat equates to 9 calories, 1 gram of carbs equates to 4, 1 grams of protein equates to 4 calories. So fats are by far the most dense macronutrient of them all. So the more fats you can get in your diet, healthy fats mostly, of course, then the easier it will be for you to eat more calories than your body burns. And the easier it will be for your body to put on new muscle tissue. So number one is make sure you're eating enough calories in the first place, and increase fat intake in your diet, which can be done through eating more peanuts, cooking your foods with more oils, adding maybe a teaspoon of coconut oil or some other form of oil into your shakes, your salads, etc., etc. Now, number two is training. Are you training appropriately to gain muscle size? You see, if majority of your training is done, say, in the 1 to 5 rep range, what you'll find is that you will gain a bit of muscle, but it's going to be very insignificant. And the reason for this is because the lower your reps, particularly between 5 and below, you're going to be gaining mostly strength. Now, if we go to the other extreme of that end of the spectrum, and you're just using obscenely high repetitions, and high in this case I'm talking about 20 plus repetitions, you're going to find that you're going to build a lot of muscular endurance, if that's what you're looking for, but you're going to build a very insignificant amount of muscle size. So you need to make sure that you're training in the proper repetition ranges that will allow you to accumulate enough volume and enough work to put on muscle in the first place. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of recommendations here. Note that there's no magic number. There's no such thing as magic numbers. These are just practical recommendations that you can put into place immediately to make sure that you're training appropriately for your goals. In which case, for this video, is in maximizing your muscle growth potential. So, aim for majority of your training to be in between the 6 to 15 rep ranges. Yeah? Note I said majority. Doesn't have to be all. If you still want some strength work, you can put a couple of sets here and there, maybe in the 1 to 5 rep range. If you want some endurance work, then you can put a couple of sets in the 20 plus rep range. But majority of your work, let it be in the 6 to 15 rep ranges. Like I said, there's no magic numbers. The only thing is that this rep range will allow you to accumulate enough volume, and volume is king when it comes to hypertrophy or muscle size, in order for your muscles to grow. Yeah? And secondly is that aim to do at least 10 plus sets per body part per week. And this is a very general recommendation, yeah? So if you're towards being a beginner, start at 10 sets and then work yourself up slowly. If you've been in the gym for a couple of years consistently, then you can start maybe in the middle at about 14 plus sets, work yourself upwards progressively and slowly. And the more advanced you get, you can do around like 20 plus sets, yeah? So don't listen to what I'm saying and just jump in and immediately change your program and you're like, JP said you guys have to do 20 sets, man, so that's what I'm going to do. If you do that, you're going to get injured and you're going to burn yourself out real quick, yeah? So don't listen to what I'm saying and immediately go to the highest end. In fact, try and start as close as possible to the lowest part of the recommendation I've given you. So 10 plus sets per body part per week, and then work up and increase those sets gradually over time. Over time is not in 1 month. Over time is not in 2 months. Over time is over a number of years. It takes years. Muscle growth, you need to understand, is a very slow process. Very slow process. So learn to enjoy the process. Yeah? Don't just look at yourself every day in the mirror and expect to become this colossal human being overnight. That's not how muscle growth works. Yeah? So you need to learn how to enjoy the process. So make sure you're eating enough, make sure you're training appropriately. So like I said, 6 to 12 rep range and about 10 plus sets per muscle group per week. Now, another thing, another side tip, let's say like side tip I can give you guys, yeah, is like I said before, you need to learn how to enjoy the process. So a side tip is to, instead of going into the gym every single time and looking at yourself in the mirror as you train, try and go into the gym with like longer t-shirts. It sounds funny, but this shit works, man. Because you'll find that if you're constantly trying to assess progress every day, progress is coming. If you're doing things properly, progress is coming. It's just that it might be so slow, which is how your body builds muscle. It's a slow process that you won't be able to see it workout to workout, maybe even week to week. So just go in with a long tee, and instead of focusing on doing all that shit, like, oh my god, flexing after each set, just put in the work. Put in the work, and over time you'll see that when you eventually, like take your shirt off after a couple of months, maybe like 8 or so months, a year, you'll be like, God damn! And you'll see that all the work you put in has come through. Now, last but not least is, are you tracking your progress? Because you might be gaining muscle. It might just be so slow that you're not noticing it. And thus you're getting frustrated. So, segue back to the last point, you need to learn how to be patient. If you want to get to the physique that you have in your head, if you really want a great physique, it's not going to take months. It's going to take years. And that's the harsh truth. So if you're in this for a quick fix, if you think that you're going to be in the gym for 8 months, 1 year, and you're going to be extremely muscular, you're in this for the wrong reasons. This is a lifetime thing. It's a lifestyle. That's what I preach. That's how it should be. It's health first and fitness. So make sure you're in this for the right reasons, yeah? You can still get amazing results in a year, but if you're really looking to get brilliant, like if you're really looking to get a sick physique, it's going to take a lot of time. So learn to be patient, learn to enjoy the process. And if you're not tracking your progress, start first by getting a weighing scale, yeah? The recommended amount of weight that an individual should gain per month when trying to put on muscle, so when you're in a bulking phase, is anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds a month. That's around 0.4 to 0.9 kgs a month, not a week. If you're putting 0.9 kgs in a week, you're doing it way too quick, and you'll find that you actually end up putting a lot of excess body fat. Yeah? Now, you want to do this slowly because you want to be bulking for a really long period of time. Why? Because muscle building is a slow process. So make sure you get a weighing scale and start weighing yourself at least once every week, yeah? Just to get an idea that you're actually progressing. Because you might be looking at yourself in the mirror week to week and you're not seeing anything, but you jump on the weight and your weight is going up slightly, then you know that you're doing something right, yeah? So if you can, the best thing obviously would be to weigh yourself every day, take the and compare week 2 average from week 1. If you've gained about, let's say, a quarter kg to 0.25, you're solid. Anywhere from 0.25 plus, you're solid. As long as you're not gaining kgs in a week, yeah, like you're packing on 3 kgs per week, you're on the right track. So get a weighing scale if you don't already have one. Weigh yourself, let's say, once every week, just to make sure that you're on the right track. And with all that, patience is key. Patience is number one. Be consistent, learn to enjoy the process, and I promise you that you are eventually going to get the results that you're looking for. So, with all that being said, that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video and found this helpful, be sure to leave it a like, share the video with somebody who you think would benefit from this information, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe as well if you also haven't, man. Welcome to the family. Peace.